so crunchy. Hey guys, my name is Sadie and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you're watching this video. Although the format of a favorites video is very simple, I feel like there's still some of my favorite types of videos to watch. So I'm here to bring you my current Sephora favorites. Ever since I started to feel more comfortable shopping in person again, Sephora was one of the very first stores that I returned to shopping in person. It is still one of my favorite things to do, to walk around a Sephora swatching all kinds of products and new products that I haven't tried before, and I'm sure that's true for many of you as well. Most of the products I'll be talking about I'm actually wearing on my face today, and actually almost all of these products except for one are $25 and under. So without further ado, let's get into some of my current Sephora favorites. Alright, the first favorite I want to mention is a foundation favorite, and it's this one right here. This is the Sephora Best Skin Ever. This is made by Sephora's in-house brand. It's definitely on the more affordable side at $20, but one thing to note is this product only has 0.84 fluid ounces, while a standard foundation, a liquid foundation, usually has 1 ounce. They advertise it as a medium coverage natural finish foundation, and I think that describes this foundation well. I have mine in the shade 25.5, which is a medium shade with yellow undertones. Usually when it comes to foundation, depending on the brand, I can either be a neutral undertone, or some foundations and brands I tend to be more of a yellow undertone or golden undertone. They describe this as having a natural finish, and to me is more on the soft matte side rather than being a more glowy finish. A foundation favorite I've mentioned recently is the Anastasia Luminous foundation, and compared to that I would definitely call this more of a matte finish, but like a soft matte finish. And when it comes to finishes like that being more on the matte or on the glowy side, you can always adjust that based on the primers or the finishing sprays that you use on top. This foundation is a bit more on the thicker side, not that it feels heavy on your skin in any way, but when you're pumping this out of the bottle, it definitely has more of a moussey texture rather than a liquidy texture. Usually when it comes to those foundations with moussier textures, I can be nervous with them and how it'll interact with some of the drier spots on my face, but to me, I haven't experienced any clinging to dry patches with this. I think my favorite thing about this foundation is just how it sets on the skin. On the bottle, it even does advertise itself as a long wear foundation, and I feel like it really is. A lot of the times with more glowy or dewy foundations, which are the types I usually prefer, they tend to not really set on the skin, so they can be a little slippery. So I feel like I always have to set them down with a powder or a finishing spray. But this foundation is definitely self-setting and lasts really well throughout the day. If you're looking for a foundation with a natural matte and medium coverage, I would definitely say look into this one. And even if you have more dry skin, don't be afraid of it either. Even with that thicker texture, it doesn't at all cling to dry patches for me, and I really like the long wearing nature of it. I have another complexion favorite I want to mention, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is one I was definitely inspired to buy after hearing so many rave reviews about it from some of my favorite YouTubers, Taylor Wynn and Smoky Glow. They both absolutely love this product. This Hollywood Flawless Filter is a very unique product to me. I think the name Flawless Filter is actually a really great name for it because it's not really like a foundation that's going to give you coverage or is going to cover up dark spots. Yes, it still kind of does give you a little bit of coverage, but for me, the main benefits from this are the finish that it gives your skin. This can just give your skin such a glowy and beautiful finish. If you can see, I'm wearing it in this picture here, and it's giving me just all of the glazed donut fantasy that I am looking for. I absolutely love it. There are a couple of different ways that you can use this product. You can use it underneath foundation as like a glowy base that's going to show through and give you a more glowy finish with whatever foundation you're using on top. You can also use it as like a highlighter, so using it on the high points of your face to just highlight different sections over a foundation. Or you could also wear it by itself and just use a concealer to cover up spots on your face if you wanted a little more coverage. I have tried using this product in all three of those ways, and I love it no matter how I use it. I think using it by itself plus a concealer can really give you all of the benefits and the glow that you can see from it. Definitely if you have more perfect skin than I do, then you can probably get away with wearing this without concealer as well. It just gives you that ideal lit from within, glowy without looking sparkly kind of look that as you like turn your face and your cheeks side to side, the way that the light reflects off of it, I absolutely love it. I have mine in the shade 4.5, which is the medium shade. And it's interesting because I can use this all over my face and it doesn't look too light, but again, I can still use it on the high points of my face as a highlighter and it still gives me that highlighting effect. I think this is a magical product and is well worth your money. Next favorite is a concealer, and it is the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer. I feel like in almost every makeup's favorite video, I'm mentioning one Rare Beauty product that I have tried. I know I've mentioned in the past before that I'm not so much concealer under the eyes kind of person. I'm just kind of starting to dabble with it recently. I've mentioned the ColourPop Hydrating Concealer I really liked under the eyes, and this one I have also realized I love as an under eye concealer as well. I actually bought this alongside the Hollywood Flawless Filter as something that I could possibly use for spot concealing, but I realized the shade that I bought is just a little too light to spot conceal with, so I decided to use it under the eyes. To me, it impressed me even more when it came to not settling underneath the eyes. I feel like that's a lot of the reason why I avoid under eye concealer is I always get creasing underneath my eyes and I just don't think it's worth it to get that like crepey, creasy look under your eyes just for a little brightening. But out of all of the concealers that I have tried and loved, this has performed the best when it comes to not settling in those lines, so I love that. Since I tend to go for medium coverage foundations, I also would prefer a medium coverage concealer underneath the eyes as well, just so they don't like stand out in that weird way if I'm wearing a lighter coverage foundation on my face and my eyes are like super covered. I do agree with the claim that it is a brightening concealer. I still think it gives that great brightening effect underneath the eyes without being too heavy in coverage or without being cakey whatsoever. It also has a pretty interesting applicator to it. It is a doe foot applicator, but it's a bit more sharp on the sides. They say that so you can apply more product with the applicator, and I do think that you can do that, but I usually wipe some off because it ends up being a little too much. If you're looking for a more natural under eye concealer, but one that's still going to give you that nice brightening effect without being too much, if you tend to go a little more light coverage on the face, but you're looking for something underneath the eyes, I think this is a great one. Okay, moving on to a cream bronzer favorite. This is the iconic London Sheer Bronze Liquid Bronzer. When I bought this, I actually came in interested in the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. It's also like a liquid bronzer, but it's in the form of like that Maybelline, what is that called? That concealer with that like weird puffy spongy top. That's the applicator that the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand has. I walked in being interested in that one, but my Sephora is always out of stock of it, and it's also on the more pricey side, I think at like $38 or $39. So not being able to buy the Charlotte Tilbury one, I asked a Sephora employee for an alternative to that one, and they suggested this one by Iconic London. Now, this is a brand that I'm actually not very familiar with, and I think they have just a couple products at Sephora. I feel like this product really meets the type of finish and the sheerness that I was looking for. This is a sheer liquid bronzer, as the name says. So how I like to apply it is just to squeeze a little bit on the back of my hand and then kind of dot it around the perimeter of my face. And then I like to blend it in with a slanted kabuki brush, not with my fingers. I realized that when I tried to blend this in with my fingers, I just like go a little overboard when it comes to blending with my fingers, and I can tend to erase the foundation underneath it. So definitely with a brush is my favorite way to apply this product. There's definitely a downside to this product, and that is the shade range. There's only 2 shades available. I have mine in the shade Caramel Glow, which is the darker of the 2 options that they have, and also is not really too dark to begin with, so not a lot of options there. That's not great. But one thing I do appreciate is the undertone of this shade specifically. The lighter shade, I believe, is definitely more warm, but this one is a nice happy medium in in between warm and cool. I still may find myself trying that Charlotte Tilbury one in the future, mostly because of the ease of application. Just when I see people using it and just drawing it on the parts of their face, it just looks so nice and blends in really well. Not that this doesn't blend in really well, but it's a little time consuming to apply this, to dot it all over the face and then blend it in with a brush. But the finish that I get from this I really like, and I think it's a great alternative. Alright, the next favorite is a brow product, and it is this right here. This is the Patrick Ta Major Brow Shaping Wax. This retails for $22, and I have mine in the tinted option. So this brow wax has a clear option and also the tinted one right here. Looking in the pan itself, it looks pretty dark, but the color of this is pretty sheer. So I've talked about me and my brow issues before, but definitely one of the most annoying things about my brows is I just have hairs, especially in this brow, that just kind of get out of place and they just like go downwards. No matter how much I pluck my brow, I still have those hairs that are always ruining the shape of the arch in my brow. So I love brow products that are going to hold my brows in place. I do have some strong hold eyebrow gels that I really love, but one thing I don't love about brow gels is that kind of crunchy, crusty feeling that you can get like when you use a strong hold hair gel. It can give you that same effect, and I don't really love that. I feel like it can make the individual brow hairs stand out a lot or just looks a little crunchy. So because of that, I was definitely interested in trying a brow wax. I know Anastasia also recently came out with a brow wax, but theirs is in a clear color, and personally I just wanted something that was tinted. I feel like things that are clear that end up going in your brows, if you have darker brows like me, it just ends up getting mixed in with your other brow products and just starts to look all colored and weird. So I tend to like tinted brow products rather than clear brow products. So I was really drawn towards this because they had a tinted option. And Patrick Ta, again, is just one of those special brands to me in Sephora. It's one of the brands that I feel myself drawn to. I know there's more of a trend these days to soap brows or more of that fluffy brow look. I don't really know like how to do that. I feel like my brows won't really do that, but for what I'm looking for in a brow wax to hold my hairs in place and not give me that crunchy look that I can get from brow gel, this is really great for that. I usually fill in my brows a little bit with a pencil and then I will go over it with this, and the way I apply it is I just take a spoolie brush, I spray it a little bit with some finishing spray or some water, and then I dip that brush in this product and I kind of roll it around and make sure I get product on the brush. I just feel like you can do more shaping with your brow hairs, or you can just really brush them into place like you want without worrying about getting too much product in your brows. I totally love it if you're looking for a strong hold brow product that's not gonna look like too much in your brows and you can get a nice natural look from. I love this one. Alright, next product is definitely not at all new. In fact, I think they are starting to phase this brand out of Sephora, but if you can still find this eyeliner, I still think this is one of the best eyeliners I have ever tried. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Eye Crayon. It is a gel eyeliner in a pencil format and also has that nice twist up function. This, like I mentioned, I think is just one of, if not the absolute best eyeliner crayon or eyeliner pencil out there. I'm definitely a liquid eyeliner person because I always like to do that wing, and that's just my preference when it comes to eyeliner on the top of my lid. But when it comes to tight lining or lining the waterline, no eyeliner has beat this one in my opinion. Also, it seems like they're starting to phase out Marc Jacobs from Sephora, so I picked this up actually half off at $13. So if you can still find this eyeliner, and they have so many color options as well, I absolutely love it. It just goes on so creamy and so smooth and so super pigmented. I have mine in the black color, and what I like to do with this is tight line most of the time. I usually don't go in with a waterline eyeliner, but tight lining, which is that line right underneath your top eyelid, this is so ideal for that. Not only is it super pigmented and dark so it doesn't drag your eyelid whatsoever, but the most important thing to me as someone with watery eyes is that it stays in place and does not bleed down onto that lower lash line or mix in with your concealer. I hate when eyeliners do that. That's like one of my least favorite looks. I think they're already sold out with all of the colors online for this, but if you see it in your store, I have never tried a better eyeliner pencil than this one, and I'm kind of sad it's going away. But I'm glad I was able to pick one up at a more discounted price, because its normal price is $26 and that is really steep for an eyeliner pencil. So if you can find it for $13, it's the best. And last favorite to mention today is a lip gloss, and it is the Kaja Glossy Shot Hydrating Lip Gloss. I don't know how many times I've said it on my channel, but I have very dry lips, so the name Hydrating Lip Gloss already had me interested. I have mine in the shade Honey Drizzle, and this color and finish actually very much reminds me of the Fenty lip gloss, their original shade. I believe it's called Fussy, something like that. And it is probably one of the most hydrating lip glosses that I have tried. This has ingredients like squalane and jojoba seed oil that are also going to be extra hydrating to your lips. It gives you a beautiful shine that will really last for a surprising amount of time and does not dry down and make your lips crusty like I know some lip glosses can, especially those lip glosses that contain some sparkle in them. I feel like can dry down on my lips so weird after a couple of hours, but I never experienced that with this one. I also love the applicator. It has a more curved applicator rather than just a normal doe foot, which I think is really great for applying. It's definitely not the most pigmented lip gloss out there, and they don't really have too many color options. I kind of wish they would expand on that. But for me, this is the ideal kind of lip products that I love, and I also really love this brand Kaja as well. Okay, and that completes this video on some of my current Sephora favorites. Let me know some of your favorites from Sephora down below. I would love to hear about them. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like or a comment down below if you feel so inclined. If you haven't already, hit subscribe to stick around. I would so appreciate if you did, and until the next video, I will see you then. Bye!